Hi everybody, welcome to Let Your Art Out week 25 journal page, and the prompts this week are Christmas and Santa. So I'm getting a couple jelly prints out. I'm planning to do a Santa on a beach, so I grabbed my browns and I ripped it so it would be, part of the corner would be a beach and then the rest would be sky and water. Grab my gel matte medium. Gonna glue that down. Oh, what? Yeah, I totally screwed up and I completely missed recording so much. So the picture to the right on the split screen is what I have to show you. It is the jelly print, and I'm showing you that I took a darker piece of jelly print and put it so the white side was facing up to make it look like a wave. And then I used the other half of this acrylic watercolor on notepad for the sea in the sky. And then pretty soon here you're going to see a picture pop up, and that's the inspiration photo that I had for drawing that or sketching that Santa. Yeah, I was mad. So back to the recording. I had gessoed the entire drawing that you saw in the side-by-side picture. I gessoed that entire drawing to basically cover up the blues in the background. And so now what you see me doing is covering the gesso with Dina Wakley's white acrylic paint. This is basically the end of the first coat over the gesso, so I'll be doing some touch-ups with the detail and things like that, and be using the same colors, so you'll see those colors coming out. So I'm extending the beard a little bit here because I didn't want to have to draw in man boobs, so I brought his beard down a little bit to make sure I didn't have to do that. Coming back with the warm beige right now, like I said, and just touching up, where I might have went too far with the white or too far with the red or too far with the black. And speaking of black, what is it with old men and wearing black socks with their shorts that don't match? I don't know, but in the original picture, he had brown socks on, and I'm not sure why that is, but I thought black socks were way more appropriate. So using the ruby and just cleaning up the whites, the black to clean up where the glass is. I put a little too much skin on there. And now I'm coming in with some shading. I'm using the fuchsia from Dina Wakley. And just shading where the bag opening is, and around his arms and beneath the bag, and where object meets object. I always like to make it just a little darker to emphasize that separation where they meet each other. Even though the sun might not, it might not be shaded from the sun, I still like to darken it a little bit. So speaking of shading from the sun, his belly's going to be big, so I wanted to make sure to put some darker red underneath his belly. Now I'm going in with the elephant gray, and I'm creating some texture in the hat, or in the whites, I should say. So shading in between his legs and the shorts, and on the sides of his shorts where it's going, wrapping around his body. And in between, I'm going to, separate out his beard and his mustache, and then I'm going to add some texture into his beard. When you're doing hair texture, you don't want to go too far with the strokes. Less is definitely more. So I just basically put in some strokes, and then I'm actually thinning it out a little bit with the white and adding some highlights back in. So now I'm grabbing the Dylusions Desert Sand, and I'm mixing that with the white, and it's creating a little bit of a darker skin tone that I'm going to shade in around his body, under his, where there's shade, and then where I want to make it seem round. As we know, dark pushes things to the background, light brings things forward, right? So where his body is meeting his body, like in his armpit or his wrist or his fingers, I also like to darken that a little bit to kind of, emphasize that separation. Now I'm going in with this straight desert sand, and that's going to be my darkest shade. So in this journal page, or in this painting, I actually use 4 different shades of skin tones. I don't know why I did, but I did. But I think as I make things darker, other things seem lighter, or vice versa, right? You make things lighter and other things seem darker. So it's a constant adjustment that you're doing back and forth. So this is a little too dark for me. So I'm bringing that warm beige back in again. And you see that I'm placing it in the middle. I'm not placing it right on top of where the dark is. And then I'm using my finger to kind of sponge it, to blend it, over the dark, to kind of, blend that out a little bit. So this is my lightest shade, and that's going to be the warm beige mixed with white. And you see how that makes his belly pop out and makes it look rounder? That's what I mean by, the dark puts things in the background and light brings things forward. So just bringing back some lights in, where I put a little bit too much dark. Touching things up. I'm constantly touching things up. Forgot his belly button, so I grabbed a gelato to kind of give him some, pinkness, and realized, oh, I forgot his belly button. So I'm adding that in and highlighting that, messing with that hand again. Eesh, that hand. So this is a cool Santa. So I needed to give him some mirrored glasses, some biker looking glasses. He's got black socks and mirrored glasses. Adding a bit of a glare to those glasses because they're mirrored. And hind thought, I should have probably put some orange tint on there. So it bothered me that his socks were all black and he's on a beach. So I brought in the gray and made his socks a little dusty, like, he's on a beach and there's sand. Tells my story, right? Taking that gelato, adding a little pink. Yep, made a mistake, and it's water soluble, so I wiped it off. Santa's from the North Pole, so he's got some fair skin, so I wanted a little bit of a darker pink. You give him a darker sunburn. He's hurting. All right, it's time to make the hand worse. So I wish I would have just left this hand alone. I really do. I wanted him to be waving and not doing the, the gymnast pose after he gets done doing a flip. But yeah. It gets worse even yet. So now I'm going in and I'm going to be doing the Karen Burchill floating acrylic technique. I love this technique. A lot of people would probably go in and take a black pen and outline everything. And to me, at least for my, it's a preference. Some people, I don't mind it in other people's art, but for my art, I like it to be a little, little more natural looking, a little more subtle, the definition. So basically in this technique, you dip your paintbrush, it's an angle brush, you dip it and you get some water on your brush, you get it wet. And then you dip the tip of the angle brush into which is what you see me doing. You tip that in. I do that every time I say you tip that into. It's you dip the tip into the paint, and then the paint goes down heaviest at the tip and then flows out from the water. So it's not such a harsh outline like you would get with a pen. But again, it's a preference, it's a style, and yeah, this just gets worse. Look at that. I don't even know which finger. Is it his middle finger or is it his ring finger? I don't know which one it is, but it's huge now. He must have dropped a toy on it or something, or maybe he got a jellyfish sting and it's swollen. There you go. That's my story, guys, and I'm sticking to that story. He's got a swollen finger from a jellyfish and he's showing everybody. There you go. All right, so just shading around his knuckle from holding the bag, and that kind of brings the hand forward in front of the beard instead of just disappearing into the beard. And yeah, just continuing this all the way around. I really do enjoy this technique a lot. So most people probably wouldn't go around and do around every single edge like I do. But to me, again, it's a preference thing. Everybody's got their own styles. I just don't feel like it's finished without this detail. Going around his glasses. I think I go inside his glasses, around the bags. I mean, everywhere. I'm going around everywhere. So look at that page just turning and turning and turning. I think I'm done, and then say, oh, nope, I gotta make this darker, or I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. That belly is so cute. Oh, gotta do his belly button. Yeah. I forgot the top of his mustache. And then I'm adding some more texture into his beard, which I really like how that turned out because it makes it look like it's a lot, a lot more full. And then I thought I was done, and then said, oh no, I've got to do inside the glasses. Yep. Trying to get those toys to kind of be sticking out, bulging in the bag. All right, I think I'm done. So just fixing the glasses a little bit, just a detail thing. And I'm going to create this Dylusion-like sentiment. So it's hi-ho, it's back to work I go. And I'm just going to cut this out onto individual rectangles, and then I'm going to draw a little frame around it, kind of like those Dylusions, those Diane Revelry, like her sentiments are. I really like those a lot. Using our glitter glue to glue those on. Look at that hand. Oh, that's funny. I should have put, thinking about it now, I should have put the sentiment right over his hand. Then I wouldn't have had to worry about it. Oh, well. It's endearing at this point. Shows my struggle was real. So using the Posca pen to do the frame around the Santa. I feel like the frame makes the Santa and the scene pop out a little more. Finishes it. So just drawing around the sentiments to kind of make sure that they're included. And yep, there's more. I'm going to ink the edges. It seems like I'm never done with these things. I always put so much time and effort and detail into them. Speaking of time, oh, yeah, it's my jellyfish bitten hand waving at you. All right, so I had a week 25 already done, and I just wasn't satisfied with it, so I tore it out of my journal. And so now I'm putting this one into my journal now. And this is week 25, so that's 25 pages in this thing. And it's getting pretty chunky. I think week 26, so after next week, I am going to build a cover for it and just go ahead and cover it, because I think 52 of these would make this thing like 2 feet tall. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really did enjoy it myself as well. And if you want to see more content from me, or want to make suggestions on what I could do that you would like, or do differently that you don't like, I'd really appreciate them. So don't forget to subscribe, and I really appreciate you guys watching, taking the time on these videos. Have a wonderful day or night. Thank you. Bye-bye.